What is up, everyone? Robbie Plays here for the Saloon Media Group channel. Back for another installment of the Her Story playlist. Look, I enjoyed the first part. Wasn't too sure what was going on at first, but found it enjoyable enough to bounce around with. Now I've gone through and I've rewatched a few of the videos since last time, and I've come up with a few extra keywords that I could use, and we're gonna crack back into it, and I'll show you the database I got up. There we go. So there's the database. I'm not too sure about whether or not the words I've got will fill out more of it, but we're gonna jump in, give it a go, and just really kind of see what we can get, and go from there. Oh, here we go. Kind of shows you what you've already chosen. So that's a good thing to know. So got a few down on my list. I'm gonna try a few new ones. Don't think I've tried some of them before. Carl was one I kept hearing, but didn't pick up enough. Just in the background, really.
Was he my first? No need to be so coy. No, he wasn't my first. That would have been Carl. He was a local boy in a band. He was a bit of a shit, but he was sexy. We were 15.
Do go on.
No, I was 15. Carl was older. 17, I think. I was really into him, regardless of how he actually behaved. Lots of drunken teenage sex. We did it in a church once. It's stupid. So he got tired of us and we split up after about 6 months. It was sad, but those early experiences, they help you realise who's really important to you, you know? Family.
There you go.
Family. So Carl fucked off, and then there were other boys here and there, and then Simon.
Is it the key one?
Differences? She's a better driver than me. She passed the test for us. I tried to take it and nearly crashed the car. Learned that you can't rely on confidence to get you through everything.
I mean, it helps a lot.
She is the shy one. She was especially shy around boys. If Hannah liked a boy, I would have to pursue him. It was that way with Carl. Hannah met him first. She had such a crush. I let him take my virginity after a night that his band had played at. It got difficult. When I was with Carl, we would have sex, but Hannah couldn't let him see she was a virgin. She had lots of excuses. After a while, we decided that I should take Hannah's virginity. It's not that different to a bruise, pulling a tooth, a graze. We used a hairbrush.
Righto.
After that, we took it in turns, though. I was always the one who seduced the boys. Until Simon.
Jesus Christ.
Hannah was so smitten with Simon. She started getting jealous. Didn't want to share. Even the first date. We went to see Tom Cruise at the Old Odeon. We both went. kept changing places in the toilet. We only had the one best dress, so we had to keep swapping clothes. Must have thought we had terrible bladder problems. The next date, it was my turn. At the end, I let him kiss me, but that was it. We didn't want another Carl on our hands, and the Ouija board had said to hold back. After that, it was Hannah's turn, and she slept with him. Broke the rules. Deliberately broke the rules. She wanted to be the first to sleep with him. I mean, that's when she got pregnant. From that one time.
Oh, well, there you go. How's that again? So I look at my paperwork. What's the next one? They're mostly names I found, but Eleanor's one I know to pick up. Signature found limited to 5. We changed that? No.
Yeah.
There must be somewhere to read the rest of them.
Very worried. I feel sorry for them.
Doug's one I've heard. I don't think.
I hoover, I dust every week. Maybe less. I once asked Eleanor how often I should dust, and she said, if people ask, tell them you do it once a week, but every few weeks is okay. I think she was just trying to make me feel better. I mean, when I was there, she was hoovering every day. Ran an ordered house. You know how that generation is, putting on a brave front. She has secret stashes of cigarettes. Doug doesn't even know she smokes. When I was there, I saw her. She has these sort of porcelain vases, ornamental, next to the Reader's Digest books. Cigarettes inside. And she still has them. I mean, last time I was there, I looked in a vase. There was a fresh pack. I mean, all those years of marriage, and she still has a secret like that.
Admittedly, a bit of a dodgy one, but...
Okay. I parked up in the street. It was busy, so I had to park down the end of the road. Walked up, knocked on the door, no answer. I took my keys out of my bag and unlocked the door. The main lock was unlocked. You can tell because the key doesn't turn when you try to turn it to the left. I walked in. Simon's coat wasn't on the peg. I couldn't see his shoes in the shoe rack. I shouted out. I walked straight into the kitchen because he usually sits in there to have a cup of tea and read his paper, but he wasn't there. I touched the kettle. It was cold. I looked quickly in the living room. Nothing. So I walked upstairs to the bedroom and he wasn't there. I didn't search for him because it was pretty clear he wasn't there. I had a shower. The phone rang whilst I was in the shower. I didn't answer it. I think it was Eric. Then I was just exhausted. So I lay down on the bed and I fell asleep, though I didn't mean to. I woke up a couple of hours later and I was surprised to see no one in the bed next to me. And then I remembered where I was and what had happened. That's when Eric called again. This time I spoke to him. Then I called Doug and Eleanor. And then I decided to come and see you. That enough?
No, that's plenty. I mean, your videos are getting longer. Hold on 1 second, so a nice, quick and easy one.
1984.
Recently.
It wasn't awful good in the end. We were living at Doug and Eleanor's. I lost the baby at the end of spring and my parents died in the summer. It was a hot summer, a heat wave. So when we discovered the bodies, it was just awful. Because of the circumstances, them dying together like that, they brought in a lot of police. The forensic entomologist. I had to look that up. It was because of the heat. Yes. speak with Eleanor at least once a day. Not that there's anything much to say. It's more just...
You pour that on purpose?
I speak with Eleanor at least once a day.
Oh, watch her hand. I think she drops it.
Much to say. It's more just...
Yeah, she dropped that on purpose. Convinced. I don't know how I can get the 6. There must be something I'm going to do later on in the gameplay. And hopefully it unlocks it. But we'll continue on. The next one is, of course, Doug. Phoebe mentioned again, 6 entries. 1 is not open.
To contribute, you know. Doug knew someone and I got a job as a dinner lady at the primary school. They said it didn't matter if I could cook or not, just don't poison the kids. So you see, it's always been complicated between me and Simon. It's never just been the two of us. There's always been pressure.
Take this seriously. Don't sing. Right. Well, that's it for Doug. Another one I picked up on earlier. I'm just reading through the names. Was Domino. I don't know if that was a person. It seemed like it was, but not sure.
No cat. My parents had a cat before they died.
Oh,
Domino.
okay. It was a cat.
It was this little black thing with white dots. And we never did anything about the cat, but if you were thin, you could maybe squeeze through it.
What's the video I watched already?
We loved our cat, Domino. He had this little bell around his neck to stop him from killing birds in the garden. And we used to write each other notes and put them in the bell, and we could sing them to each other. Mum found some of the notes once, and she thought I was just writing to myself because our handwriting was identical. And we had our own words for things, so she didn't quite understand them anyway.
Another one I've heard popping around. The write-up for the game was Sarah.
I would have been a good mother. I was young, but I would have been a good mother. She was a girl, by the way, the baby. We were going to call her Sarah. Simon wanted to call her Ava after his nana, but I didn't want her to have a symmetrical name.
Clear that up later. Sorry for eating for you guys. I haven't eaten at all today, so wanted to knock that out. Go back to my sight words about descriptives. A reflection. Because it hit me earlier, it's like mirror reflection made sense.
The first time we saw each other, it was strange. We both realised at the same moment, I think. We must have seen each other before, but there was this instant when we first realised it wasn't a reflection. The reflection was staring back. I think I was 5. It was my birthday. My reflection was wearing a party hat and waving. I knew what party hats were from books. And it suddenly occurred to me, today must be my birthday. I waved back and we just spent ages waving at each other and copying each other's movements. Mother wanted me to grow my hair long, but I kept cutting it myself. I wanted to look like my reflection. She always had short hair when she was little. Mother would hide the scissors, but I would find a way. Cut it with a bread knife, something like that. My reflection We'd always leave her house and go on adventures, but I never could. Mother taught me at home, and I had books and TV. TV was magical, but it was only on when it wanted to be, so I spent a lot of time reading books.
Also got another 6 entrance here, so yeah, I'm guessing that somewhere you play enough of the game it unlocks
I
it,
wanted to
but
see my reflection.
we'll check the database after this.
Her, something would happen. We would become one. One girl. The fairy tale was over.
Try
She
that.
was dead, and I'd be restored to my rightful place.
Okay. We'll try attic. 12 entrances, but can only watch 5. Shocker on that one, eh?
I inherited it from my parents, so it made sense to move back. Me and Simon. Felt like going back to old ways before the pregnancy.
Pregnancy.
Reminded me of being a girl, a dollhouse in the attic, old things. We didn't sleep in my parents' bedroom for a long time. We decorated it as soon as we moved in, but it was another year before we started sleeping there.
Okay, database. Filling up.
Yes, I read a lot as a child and watched lots of TV. Then the doll's house we had.
Doll's
still
house.
up in the attic. It's kind of a fairy castle. We used to play up there and make up our own stories. Could the hairs have come from somewhere else? I mean, could they... We have a lot of dolls in the attic. There's a Rapunzel doll with long blonde hair. Could they have come from there?
Yeah, like a stretch, but
I'm not sure where the dollhouse came from. I don't know if it was given to them or they inherited it. I mean, they wouldn't have had the money to buy it. It was so huge. It must have been taken up to the attic in parts and then reassembled up there. It's a beautiful thing. Wallpaper to scale, little furniture, the lights work, mirrors, beds, big duvets and pillows. We spent hours and hours playing in it, invented all these characters and families who lived there. We wrote paperwork for them all, passports, diaries, and gave them all really elaborate stories. Once, a moth got trapped in there. We'd left a light on. It was making the most horrendous noise. We tried to kill it, but it was tough. We ended up crushing it under a copy of the Arabian Nights.
not sure if that's a importance. She mentioned an STD earlier.
No. The parents decided there would be a wedding. And after the wedding, Hannah moved in with his parents. There was no way I could follow. So we were separated again. I stayed in the attic. It was hard. It's like I suddenly didn't exist. I would sneak out, but in case anyone recognised me, I started wearing a wig. Hannah and I would meet up in the park. I was trying to get pregnant, but I couldn't. I couldn't do it with anyone we knew, so it was sex with strangers. Drunk guys I'd met in clubs, parks and alleyways. I was 17. It felt like I was being punished. But it was Hannah who had betrayed us. I had to stop when one of the guys gave me an STD.
You want to specify which one?
For the first time, my reflection, she didn't look like me. She was fatter, flushed. If anything, I was getting skinnier. I found it hard to look sometimes. We talked about what to do. Was it time to become our own people? I mean, that seemed like the right thing to do, but neither of us wanted it. We agreed that her and Simon would get their own place as soon as possible, and then I could move in. And that was the plan.
Okay. I see you're gonna go mushrooms because you mentioned family doctor mushrooms and that he knew what he should have known what he was doing. Should have.
The whole thing was wrong. The bags, I think they were from our kitchen. You can probably check that. We never go into the cellar. It's just a place we put things we don't need. Dad used to grow mushrooms there. The bags were taped up. I think it was parcel tape, but I think it was ours. They said it was
Okay.
poisoning. There was something in the food they ate. My dad liked to pick mushrooms, grow them too. They said it was the mushrooms. It was hard to believe. Death caps. They have a skirt around the cap. My dad taught me that. But, I mean, the police had no reason to think it was suspicious. They lived alone. And no one had any reason to hurt them.
Didn't they? Okay, I'm gonna try specifically death caps. I'm getting up with the same things, that's fine. Ones I had from the last episode. 6 entries, only 5 available, that's fine.
Bruise. I have a really fast metabolism, so stuff like that just comes and goes. I don't know if there's much more that I can tell you that I haven't already told the other policemen. I found the body. It was after dinner. I'd spoken to Sam's parents on the phone. I looked up for an early night and I suddenly had this thought. I think it was something his mum had said. She'd been speaking about old stuff, sad stuff, about when we lived there, about the baby. There's some boxes in the cellar, nursery stuff we never needed, and I never had the heart to throw out. And I suddenly remembered that when I'd looked down there the week before, those boxes, that pile was in the wrong place. I went cold all over. I went down there with a torch and went straight to the back, and that's when I saw the bin bags. Pulled them open, saw the body. I screamed, and that's when I called the police.
What bloody body, and why does that keep happening? Because that's creepy as hell. Going on both on the same screen? To a degree, which is fine by me.
Really? Here's the rest. Laid a body on the dock to dry. Oh, the wind and the rain. Till a fiddler with a fiddle came walking by. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. And he made a fiddle bow of her long hair. Oh, the wind and the rain. was the only tune that the field could play was all the dreadful wind and rain.
Hopefully that'll come with a copyright strike, but let's find out. Okay, so I actually find that hilarious because the actress playing her is actually, well, she's not an she's an actress? Don't clutch an actress, but she's actually a musician prior and then after doing this, so I find that quite hilarious. Also, I'm not really one for music in games, so that was a bit of annoyance to me, but at the same time, why not?
Imagine. I tried to get pregnant too, but it didn't happen. I slept with so many boys, men. My body refused. I think my period stopped because hers had. I was pretty ill. I mean, how could we stay the same now? Felt like Hannah had really fucked things up. Set us down separate paths. We had become different.
Oh, it's a little annoying that I can only get into so many entries, but I'm only one off, so what have I got next? Victim. Let's learn a little bit more about the character. Nothing, okay. Suspect. At least I've got enough I can see.
So you want to eliminate me as a suspect?
That's what we're doing. Wow, that was quick. 9 seconds.
That should eliminate me as a suspect. If I was in Glasgow, can't be in two places at once.
Oh, honey. Well, I think we figured out you can.
This is the third day running you've called me in. I speak to Doug and Eleanor every day. And they say you've been asking a lot of questions. About me. Should I be worried? Am I a suspect?
Should you be worried? That's really up to you. Do you think you need to be suspect? I'm going to try Ouija first. How you doing, little buddy?
Have you finished your video?
No, I'm making the second one. But you can wave if you want.
I always felt like it was a sign. Do you remember
Did
Princess
that
Grace?
up?
Grace Kelly?
Like,
She died in a car crash the year before we met Simon. We used a Ouija board to speak to her. And that
give
gave
her a
us the
second and
Hold on. What are you just wanting to watch YouTube?
that people who
Okay.
died tragically leave some kind of magic behind.
you.
Yeah, it's not working on there either.
We used to wake up and write them down in our
What's
diaries
wrong?
immediately and compare them.
Love you, buddy. Door. Doorway.
Switch it off.
I missed that one completely.
When beautiful people died, we always felt like it was a sign. You remember Princess Grace? Grace Kelly? She died in a car crash the year before we met Simon. We used a Ouija board to speak to her, and that gave us the power to find him. That's what we thought then. That people who died tragically leave some kind of magic behind. We used to share dreams. We used to wake up and write them down in our diaries immediately and compare them.
Alright. It gives me another option on the list, so it's fine.
What did your wife do? She didn't kill you. You think I killed Simon because he was having an affair? Well, I didn't kill him.
Do I have a fate written down?
I was in Glasgow
I don't.
worrying about whether my baby was still growing inside me. I mean, why would I kill Simon? I loved him. I mean, what if they were crazy? You hear about these crazy people all the time. I mean, why would anyone who knew Simon want to kill him?
I know, sweetheart. Why did you want to kill him? Okay, so I'm gonna try a date. 1984 is a date she mentioned earlier. Apparently, it doesn't mean nothing. Cat. 5 entries found, all about cat.
No, they were shut. Most of the windows were really hard to open anyway. They're stifling in summer. They were painted over by my dad. Could have left a door open accidentally. Or there's a cat flap in the back door. This other person doesn't exist. I don't know what the blonde wig is, but it could be anything. Have you looked at the cat flap? When we weren't together, we'd send secret messages by tapping out a code that we'd learned from a book. The knock code. Something prisoners of war would use. We'd tap them out on radiator pipes or the attic floor. Dad thought we had mice, but they couldn't find any. Bought a cat anyway.
Anyone who reads or understands Morse code, if you can translate that down in the comment section down below, that would be amazing, because, I mean, obviously there was no subtitles or anything like that. I don't read it. All right, there we go. It's filling up nicely. Yeah, no, I don't read Morse code. I don't understand it. We tried years ago with different teachers, so... Okay, I'll just type in twins, because obviously that's what
Twins?
recurring theme is.
Really? Are you really asking me that question?
Well, you keep coming in and we're having two different conversations, so yeah. Yes, sweetheart, we're asking about twins.
Your mind. Twins?
Pretty much the same fucking spot there.
There were always princes and princesses. They were the special people, more important than the other characters in their stories. We knew we were like that. Twins. Magical. We were the princesses. We had a poster of Princess Diana from the newspaper up in our attic. Had a pride of place. And underneath we used to put all our special things. When her engagement was announced, we were obsessed with everything she did. And later, when her life went so bad, we felt for her. Her divorce last year just kind of drew a line under things.
Okay, there's that one. Five found.
No. I lost the baby.
Did she mention having it?
Miscarriage at 8 months. We carried on living at Simon's parents until, well, it was only a few months after. Then my parents died. It was the worst year of my life. A miscarriage and then my parents. Yeah. They'd gone to bed feeling ill, thinking it was flu or something. The neighbour called me, I had to use my key to let them in. We found them dead in their bed. And they'd been there for days. No one had noticed. Just awful. It was so soon after my miscarriage. The worst year of my life. I'd been so happy to get married, and after that it was just like, fuck.
I'm wondering if there's like a correlation between what's going on
Yeah.
and what's being said and then
I mean, I
that
was infertile.
silhouette.
Thought I was. They told me I was infertile after the miscarriage because of complications. Hannah had a miscarriage. This was late in the pregnancy and it left her infertile.
Type that one too.
Felt like the universe had corrected its course. We were aligned again. But Hannah and Simon were still living with his parents. They were married. Simon had a job at the Glaziers now. Eric had given him a full-time position after he left school. And then
Okay, and again, there's that character. One entry found, but I've already checked that. Refresh that. Humor answers. Trying to go through motor weapons right now. They said he
well,
indicated throat slit, so
she has a knife. She's been cooking, I guess. She's been cooking him his favourite meal. She's his wife. And he's asleep and she doesn't want to wake him because he's ill. That's why she's sad. Because he's ill and he might die. It's kind of a sad story, so I'm not sure how it ends.
Lord. Your fairy tale is one that I mentioned earlier. 7 found, 5 available.
Sorry. The picture, the way it's drawn, just reminded me of the books we used to read as children. I read those fairy tales over and over, and they were so real to me. Rapunzel was my favourite. My brain is just full of it. Are any of these in colour?
No, they're
And the Glaziers.
mm,
I bet there's some weekend
evidence, maybe.
part-time job there too. That was Eric's generosity. He was always good at helping out other people's children. Simon was quiet, more thoughtful than the other boys. Even then, he had a sense of craftsmanship.
Did he?
Wasn't always rushing stuff. Boys that age are just running around like headless chickens most of the time.
To be honest, Simon sounds like a pretty legit dude.
Plus, he had that look.
Sorry.
Simon never cheated on me. He was devoted to me. And I was devoted to him. Nothing in life is easy. We were good to each other. Life isn't a fairy tale. You do what you can. Well, she wasn't my real mother, but she raised me. Do you want to hear the story?
Sure.
It's a real life fairy tale. Fairy tales. Stories about lost princesses, evil witches, magical mirrors, and lost children. So you see, even before I knew the truth, I'd found it in those stories.
Very much sounds like your story too. Right, fairy tale will go to, as she said, witch. And only one is unplayed.
It's Rapunzel. The story starts when she's born. Mother Gothel, a witch, takes Rapunzel from her parents and keeps her locked up in this tower. Rapunzel gets pregnant by the prince, and Mother Gothel is furious, so she cuts off her hair and throws it. Actually, her hair's already short here, so that's already happened. So she throws her into the wilderness, and Rapunzel is reunited with the prince, who's blind. But she kills him with her tears, and so it's a happy ending. Is that too much?
No, gives me a few ideas. Rapunzel's story, okay. There you go. Also, like I said, gave me a few extra title questions. Did I spell that right? I did, but it's already done. There we go. That is filling up like a beaut. Is that properly? We're going to go Dollhouse. There's a lot of comments about Dollhouse, so 5 entries found, only one's not played.
The legal stuff was completed very quickly. Hannah moved back in with Simon. Eric gave Simon the week off to help with the move. He decorated, modernised wallpaper, curtains. Hannah insists the attic be left as it was, dollhouse and all. Simon never went up there.
Alright, so it wasn't too much, but Rapunzel, kept mentioning her. Probably a lot of entries on her. Nope. Only 5, only 2 not read.
Did I pass? Sorry, I messed it up with all that Rapunzel stuff. Do you need me to do that card again?
Creepy.
We were obsessed with fairy tales.
Couldn't help but notice.
The pretty ones, but the traditional ones, they were dark and real, bizarre and violent. Felt like life. We had this huge old book that I think Mum must have bought from a library sale. The illustrations had thin tracing paper over them to protect them. They were in colour, shiny plates. At the front of the book was an index of illustrations. We read that more than the actual stories. We'd read aloud the captions and flip between the pictures. There was something intimate about peeling back the tracing paper, undressing the pictures. Rapunzel's hair is cut. The eagle plucks out his heart. The princess pricks her finger.
I've had books like that where, like, you peel it back as I was growing up. Just leftover stuff that my mother had when she was growing up. Another book they mentioned early in the first episode was Early Every Nights. Didn't know whether that was going to be a calling card or not, so I gave it a go. Stella kept getting mentioned. There's going to be a lot of entries there. Oh no, 4. Fair enough.
Well, fine, considering. I got back into the house today, and that was weird, knowing your people have been there through my things. It's like I've been burgled. Only worse, obviously. I don't know.
Your people.
I haven't lived in the cellar yet. They sent a cleaner in. As good as new, he said. But they had to throw some stuff out. Couldn't get the blood out. And I'm still waiting to hear from the coroner so we can get a date set for the funeral. It's going to be a cremation. So,
Might be a long stretch, but I'll try to get as much information out of it as possible.
it happened very quickly. We hardly had to talk to each other. We agreed almost silently. The baby was what mattered. We'd help each other. We cleaned up. We bagged up the broken mirror, her clothes. They're gone. We took him down to the cellar. We knew we had an alibi, and we wanted the body to be found later. We wanted to have suspicion on us, so we could then disprove it, rather than have it linger. Better to keep the body in the house than risk being seen with it. The watch, that was my touch, to make sure the alibi stuck.
No, I'm kind of having fun figuring out all this. I mean, obviously there's a point to that. Maybe, maybe that's kind of the end for now. That is, however, going to be the end of this particular installation of the series. As you can see, I still have a little bit on that last page on the bottom here. That entire page. And I'll just start on that one. Like I said, they're all words that just... They're not regular words you bring up in conversation. Now, obviously, for something like this, probably normal. But I want to be sure, 100%. And, we'll give it a go. We'll crack on with this. And here we go. The chit chat part, though, that just popped up. That's strange. But we'll see what happens. We'll type in all these. I want to try to finish that database first before checking anything else like that. I mean, for all I know, that's the next part of it, and it'll open up more options. As I said, you get spots where it's like, 12 entries found, but you can only access 5. Maybe that chit chat part helps you access more. I don't know. I'm almost worried to look up the game to find more information, but because I don't want to spoil it. I do now know there's a second one called Telling Lies that comes sequel to the game. That's on Game Pass as well. I've been downloading that in the background, so that will be probably the next game to play. Now remember, all these games are being put in place so that I can try to bulk match out some Mass Effect, Dragon Age, Jedi, all that stuff, so that I can then start clipping that, scheduling that into the channel. But like I said, I'm going to need time, find some other games in between. I could always jump on Yakuza, finish that. But I'm going to do Her Story and then Telling Lies, and then we're going to see how we go from there. And we're just going to check it out, really. It's an interesting game. I'm enjoying it so far, and we'll see how we go from there. All right, guys. Like I said, that's going to be it. And thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, or you just enjoy the content in general, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell because it helps me out a tremendous amount. And if you want to get a hold of me anywhere else, my webpage will be down below in the description bar. And that gives you access to my Discord, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch when I'm on, and also my clothing label, RP Apparel, where you can get this Rory Players Gen 2 t-shirt, and a few other options as well. We're hoping to have holiday options coming out next year, so Valentine's, Halloween, Easter, Christmas. If you can name any others, feel free, comment section down below. And or hit me up on Discord. There is an RPA section there. Feel free to chat it up. So thank you for everyone that jumped in, and I'll see you tomorrow with the third installment of the Her Story series. Bye, guys.